it was really, we were both really clearly on the same page, which was, if we ever get back together, it has to start with music. It can't start with, you know, a lot of people would approach us and say, hey, you guys want to do a reunion tour with, you know, group A, B, and C, and we'll call it the 90s Live Forever tour, or the 80s Always tour, and we were like, nah. Like, it was always a no. And when Joey and I met, you know, it was very much like, music has to be the way. We have to want to do it again, you know, from a true place, which is the opposite. Not that it wasn't authentic before, it's just I think we probably knew from, you know, the New Kids got so big the first time, and it was got so corporatized, and it was kind of like a runaway train at times. So I don't think we knew exactly how we would do it, but I knew if we did it, it had to start from us, not from an outside entity, you know, saying what it's gonna be. Because we wouldn't have this if it was that. It would be something completely different. So I remember that conversation, and about a year, I think I went to a game with you after we talked. I went and saw Jordan in Boston. We had a little talk. We went to a Celtics game, and what if we ever get back together? And Joey and I went to see you in Pittsburgh. I think you were playing the solo show at the Hard Rock or something. And we talked about it, and then kind of put it on the back burner. And just, it was always like, one day this will happen. And yes, then I was in New York. I was filming a movie. I had a day off. I went down to New York, and our music lawyer was like, hey, come by the office and say hi. And I'd always be like, yeah, but I'd never go. And for whatever reason, this time I went. And when I was leaving, he said, listen to this CD. And I was like, okay, sure. And I had no plan on listening to it. I had to drive to Boston from New York, and it was a long drive, and I said, let me put it in. And it was Click, Click, Click. And another song, which we actually recorded before Click, 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 which was never released. But we'll talk about that later. But when something about that song just started being like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of like what the New Kids could sound like now. It honors the past of New Kids. It's not too much of a departure from what we were, but it sounds like who we might be now. And so then, yes, I shared it with Jordan, I think in the limousine. And he really loved Click, Click, Click. You know, I was like, this other song is great too. And he was like, yeah, but this Click, 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 this is a vibe. And sent it to Joey. And Joey had mentioned in our earlier meeting, we actually set up a meeting with Jared Paul, our manager, a year before this happened. So it was kind of like that conversation planted the seed that all we needed was the music. And suddenly the music revealed itself. I didn't go searching the world for a song. The song appeared. You know, the universe put it into action. We spoke. The universe started working. A year and a half later, boom, there's the song. I remember the conversation. Let's get to work. In terms of emotionally, same as Danny. You know, it was an interesting time in my life. I was going through a lot of personal changes, and I didn't realize how much getting back with the guys first would be a lifeline for me. I love you too. I don't need to go.
I would say we needed each other.
For sure.
At that time in our life.
For sure. You know,